In the summer of 1914, Europe did not expect a world war. It expected diplomacy, negotiations, maybe a short regional crisis, but not a catastrophe that would kill millions and redraw the global map forever. Yet one political decision, made in a moment of calculated confidence, set off a chain reaction that leaders could no longer control. What if the First World War was not inevitable? What if it was not decades of tension alone, but one single decision that turned a regional dispute into World War I? This is the real cause behind how one political decision sparked World War I and why Europe collapsed into the deadliest conflict the world had ever seen. By 1914, Europe was already a powder keg. Powerful empires dominated the continent. The British Empire ruled the seas, the French Republic sought revenge for past humiliations. The German Empire demanded its place in the sun. The Austro-Hungarian Empire struggled to control its diverse populations, and the Russian Empire claimed to protect Slavic nations in Eastern Europe. These rivalries formed two massive alliance systems. On one side stood the Triple Entente, Britain, France, and Russia. On the other stood the Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. But alliances alone do not cause world wars. They create tension. They create fear. They create suspicion. What turns tension into total war is decision-making under pressure. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, was assassinated in Sarajevo by Gavrilo Princip, a Serbian nationalist. The assassination shocked Europe, but political assassinations were not new. Many believed this would remain a Balkan crisis. Austria-Hungary blamed Serbia and wanted to punish it. However, Vienna hesitated. Serbia had backing from Russia. Attacking Serbia could mean war with Russia and potentially France and Britain. Austria-Hungary needed reassurance. And this is where the critical political decision occurred. On July 5, 1914, leaders of the German Empire, under Kaiser Wilhelm II, made what historians call the blank check decision. Germany promised Austria-Hungary unconditional support, even if that meant war with Russia, France, or Britain. This was not a defensive guarantee. It was open-ended, it was bold, it was risky. Germany believed the conflict could be localized. They calculated that Russia was not fully prepared for war. They believed France might hesitate. They assumed Britain would stay neutral. In Berlin, leaders saw an opportunity. A quick, decisive war could strengthen their position in Europe before Russia completed military modernization. But this calculation underestimated the complexity of alliance politics and the psychology of fear. Armed with Germany's unconditional backing, Austria-Hungary issued an ultimatum to Serbia on July 23, 1914. The demands were intentionally harsh. Serbia accepted most of them, but not all. For Austria-Hungary, that was enough to declare war on July 28. Russia mobilized to protect Serbia. Germany saw Russian mobilization as an act of aggression. Under its military strategy, the Schlieffen Plan, Germany believed it must strike France quickly before Russia could fully mobilize. So Germany declared war on Russia on August 1st, and on France on August 3rd. Then came the next domino. Germany invaded Belgium to reach France quickly. Belgium was neutral. Its neutrality was guaranteed by Britain. When German troops crossed into Belgium, Britain declared war on Germany on August 4th, 1914. Within weeks, what began as a regional Balkan dispute had transformed into World War I, a global conflict involving Europe's great powers, their colonies, and eventually the United States. But here's the crucial question. Was the assassination itself the true cause? Or was it the political decision to offer unconditional support that made escalation unstoppable? Without the blank check, Austria-Hungary might have negotiated. Without Germany's backing, Vienna may have feared Russian intervention too much to risk full-scale war. Without that reassurance, perhaps the July crisis would have ended in diplomacy rather than disaster. The political decision gave Austria-Hungary confidence. Confidence led to ultimatums. Ultimatums led to mobilizations. Mobilizations triggered war plans. And war plans left no room for compromise. World War I was not simply caused by militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. Though those forces were real, it was the moment when political leaders chose escalation over restraint. Germany's leaders feared encirclement by Russia and France. They believed war sooner was better than war later. Austria-Hungary feared losing control over its empire if it appeared weak. Russia feared abandoning Serbia and losing influence in the Balkans. France feared standing alone against Germany. Britain feared German domination of Europe. Each nation believed it was acting defensively. But collectively, those defensive decisions created offensive catastrophe. The war that followed shattered illusions of glory. Soldiers expected a short war. Many believed they would be home by Christmas. Instead, trench warfare stretched from the North Sea to Switzerland. Machine guns, barbed wire, and artillery turned battlefields into killing fields. The Western Front became a symbol of industrialized slaughter. In the East, massive armies clashed across vast territories. In the Ottoman lands, new fronts opened. Colonial troops from Africa, India, Australia, and Canada were drawn into the fighting. The war became truly global. By the time the United States entered the conflict in 1917, millions had already died. Submarine warfare, economic blockades, and total mobilization of societies turned the conflict into a war of attrition. Entire generations were scarred. When the guns finally fell silent in November 1918, four empires had collapsed: the German, Austro-Hungarian, Russian, and Ottoman empires. Borders were redrawn. New nations emerged, but the peace that followed was fragile. The Treaty of Versailles imposed heavy penalties on Germany. Economic hardship and political instability followed.